So I recently made a video talking about how I have trouble finding minimalist or barefoot shoes that fit well, or shoes in general. I've always had problems with finding shoes, even normal shoes. So perhaps this video wasn't as well structured and it didn't make as much sense as I wanted to. So I noticed in two communities. So you have like the barefoot community, people who really walk like on bare feet, and you have the barefoot shoes or the minimalist shoes community. And I got different reactions from these communities. Like people were really enthusiastic about walking on bare feet. They agreed with my criticism of the industry that makes these minimalist shoes and how they're not always catering to the needs of people who may have difficult feet or have trouble fitting shoes. Whereas the other community was much more critical, and they wondered what my point actually was, and it's harder for them maybe to imagine why someone may have trouble with minimalist shoes. So this video is in a sense a bit of an update, and I want to show today is also something I mentioned in these comments, is that I found a local manufacturer of bare feet or minimalist sandals. The guy who makes it calls it minimalist sandals, but either way it's the same principle. Well, I was really enthusiastic to be able to have these custom made because that makes it much easier for my feet. I also have a length difference, so my left foot is bigger than the other one, and I have a bit of an interesting shape with a big toe. I have like very slim feet, but then with a quite big front toe, like big toe. What I essentially want to do in this video is I want to talk about the experience of walking on these sandals and going pretty much bare feet on them. So as you can see with these sandals have have a very thin profile. I like that very much, and this yes. So the company that produces this has I think four different sandals, and this is the thinnest one. It's also marketed as the one that's like the closest to walking on bare feet, and it's been a super interesting experience trying these out. So what you immediately notice when you wear sandals like this, or when you wear like very minimalist shoes in general, is to feel like the ground as much as possible, and it's like walking on bare feet as much as possible. So what I've been experiencing the past few days while walking on these sandals is something I would call like a feast of sensation, a feast of sensations, a feast of feeling. Because when you're walking on this, you can truly feel almost everything that's under your feet. And it's almost like being walking bare feet. So I actually do like walking bare feet, and I'm not sure, I might one day actually uh, go completely barefoot. That's definitely a possibility. I like this because this essentially enables you to avoid like the problems of walking on bare feet, like dirt, glass, dog shit, and all other kinds of problems. For the more hardcore people, they're probably used to this, but people are trying to make a transition from shoes or whatever, or people who just want the comfort of this. This is actually a great solution, and the thinner the sole, I would say, the better. And of course, you're still actually walking on something, so you feel, in a sense, like it's not like going completely bare feet, because, like I said, I like going bare feet in nature, walking bare feet on the beach and in well, pretty much in the forest here, and so I'm a bit used to it, even though I don't do like very long distances. So it's been a very interesting experience, because if you walk on this, so my advice for anyone who tries this the first time, whatever, like minimalist shoes or just barefoot walking, like you have to take it very slowly, because it's actually quite tough to be walking on your bare feet. I actually have been walking like on normal like normal sole flip flops pretty much like for months, and also when I used to walk on normal shoes, I could not walk on flip flops. Like it would take me like I could walk for like 10 minutes on them, and then I had to go back because it was just too painful. And now for me, walking on flip flops is like super normal. I almost don't even notice any difference with my normal shoes. But this is next level. So like one of the things you notice when you walk on these for the first time is not only that it's like it's tougher. Like it's a very strange feeling to be walking on your actual feet. Like that's how fucked up we become with this normal shoes, that our feet are like they're like doing nothing, and they're just like prisoners in these shoes, and they you don't actually get to use them because the thick sole of the normal shoe, it's like doing everything for you, and that leads to a lot of health problems, because I think we're supposed to be using your foot pretty much like you be using the rest of your body during like a gym session or whatever, like strength training or picking something up in daily life. And one of the things you'll notice that is one of the most interesting things to me is that you can only walk at a very slow pace on these, unless maybe you're trained. But for me as a beginner, I noticed that just like when I'm walking on bare feet, I stop running. So pretty much people on shoes, everyone is just running, and like the shoe is doing the movement for them. But if you're actually walking on these or walking on bare feet, you need to like you truly need to do all the work yourself. And you, if you want to walk faster, you pretty much have to run. So actually what's funny is that these sandals are pretty much made for like barefoot running, so they're marketed as such as well, and I use them for walking, and I am not using them for running. Maybe one day I will, but what I'm saying, like the warning I'm giving about getting used to these sandals first, it's like it's even more important if you're trying to run. Like you gotta have the right technique, and I don't have, even like for walking you should like get a different technique that's more fit for shoes like this, that's more fit for like barefoot walking. um and I don't have that yet, so I can't show it, but I'm going to learn that as well. So essentially, I'm not walking like the right way now, but it's already like a great practice to be feeling like, to just be using your feet for real. What I love is I can feel all the different textures. I'm mostly walking on either bricks or asphalt or tiles. Now in like it's fall, so I can there's a lot of stuff on the ground from trees, like not only leaves, but you can just feel all these things individually, and sometimes it even hurts, but it's a good kind of pain, because essentially you're activating something that should be normal, but it has become abnormal over the whatever the last 100 years, that nobody like, or maybe a couple of 100 years, but nobody has strong feet anymore, and you train yourself by using these feet. And well, I'm currently walking on this like with my bare feet, because I think that's actually also an advantage of having sandals, is that you can simulate walking bare feet as much as possible without actually having the problems of walking bare feet in the modern environment, the risks. But if you're wondering, like I like swimming in nature, for example, as you may have seen from the images of the beach. I do that the whole year. So you're wondering maybe like what do you do if you get cold, or if you live in a very cold climate like Canada or Sweden or whatever, Russia. What are you gonna do against the cold? Well, fortunately, so actually I bought these. I'm not really using these actually, but I might use them at some point when it's colder. Like you have these like half socks that leave your toes open. So I bought these from the manufacturer of my sandals. But you also have these like in Gingy or whatever brand. There are different brands. These are more expensive, but you have cheaper options. They're actually toe socks, so it looks very strange like this. But you just have to put them on very slowly, and this will give you warmth. So I'm probably gonna need this when I go swim in cold weather in the winter, whatever. These are other ones. Um, I think the previous one, the first ones I showed, actually have wool, so they're the warmest, and the other one is like in between. Um, so it's fantastic, and I've really accomplished what I wanted, and I can stop pretty much using normal shoes. And for me, the only reason to still seek for normal minimalist shoes is that like I need something for the gym, so I'm still using like normal shoes for the gym, but I cannot use sandals or socks for the gym because it's against the rules. So that's a bit of unfortunate, but I'll have to keep looking for a solution for that, which is not easy for me. But at least I have these sandals for daily use. So maybe the last thing I wanted to say about it is what can be awkward though is people looking at you, people staring at you, and I think that's for the prime reason in my situation because it seems like I'm using flip flops because with my jeans you don't see that it's a sandal, so you just see this. And people find it kind of odd if you're wearing flip flops. They're also very thin flip flops. I don't know if you can if you can even see that, but to me it's like super weird. It's almost like there's no material, and that's the point of these things. Um, yeah, when I wear the socks, I mean, you might get some looks, but that's just something you need to get used to. I think for some people it might be an obstacle, but honestly, I got used to this pretty quickly. I just love being like it's kind of a counterculture thing what you're doing if you're wearing this, but you're actually on the right path, and pretty much everyone else isn't. So I would say it's like a liberation of your feet, and whether it's minimalist shoes or minimalist sandals or actually going barefoot completely, like I think we all know that we are doing the right thing, and it's a fantastic feeling. And it's just something you will never like. I think you will never stop doing. So once you go pretty much bare feet or whatever, that's very similar to it. It will be impossible to go back. And I really don't like walking on normal shoes. And I really love like every second of walking like this or walking bare feet in nature. I love every second of it. And I am convinced that this is the way it was supposed to be in our ancestral environment, as they say. And yeah, it has a lot of health benefits. So if you're not on board yet, well, you know what my advice is.